Hello everyone! A common question I get is whether it's worth doing the premium processing the EB2-NIW interest waiver process and paying the current $2,805 fee to get a response from the immigration authorities within 45 days. The short answer is that the premium processing won't necessarily speed up the receipt of your green card. And here I will explain why. For those who do not know me, my name is Anna Schaefer and I'm an immigration lawyer here in the United States. The EB2-NIW interest waiver process has two main phases. One is the eligibility verification and two will be the actual visa issuance, which can occur both, either consular, when the petitioner is outside the United States, and via adjustment of status when the petitioner is already physically inside the United States. The eligibility phase is one of which the officer will be examining whether the petitioner has the advanced degree, a master or a PhD, or equivalent, which is the bachelor degree plus the 5 years of progressive experience. In case a college degree is absent, the officer will be assessing whether the petitioner fits the criteria of the extraordinary ability. In addition to that, of course, the officer will also be evaluating whether the national interest waiver criteria is met, which includes evaluating whether the proposed endeavor of that petitioner has substantial merit and national importance to the United States, and if that petitioner is well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor, and that on balance will be beneficial to the United States to waive the requirements of a job offer and thus the labor certification. This phase that I just described is the one that can be accelerated by the premium processing. The premium processing is the I-907 form, which can be submitted concurrently with the I-140 or anytime while the form I-140 is pending. For the submission of the premium processing, it's required to pay the fee that we just mentioned, $2,805, and the USCIS will return the response within 45 days. This response can be an approval, a request for additional evidence, and depending where you are in your process, even a notice of intent to deny it, known as NOIT, or a denial. If you receive a request for additional evidence, after that response, USCIS will have another 45 days to get back to you under the premium processing. After the application is approved, then that's where the issue comes in. No matter if your eligibility phase was approved within 8 months or 45 days, the petitioner will still need to wait for the availability of the visa as per the visa bulletin to be able to request their immigration visa, either via consular or via adjustment of status. In other words, it does not matter how soon that eligibility phase happened, they still need to be waiting for the visa availability. And what is this visa availability? This goes back to the visa bulletin. For those who are not yet familiar with this term, the visa bulletin is like a queue for visas. There is a limited number of green cards that are made available each year. And for the employment-based categories, which are the EBs, which EB2-NIW interest waiver is under, the number of green cards are 165,000 for the fiscal year 2024. And how do you get in this queue for the visa? Through the form I-140. In other words, the date of approval is irrelevant. The date being considered is the date you file your form I-140. Today, considering the most recent visa bulletin that's already for the month of April 2024, the date to be considered is January 15th. That means that only those people that submitted their I-140 and receive a priority date, which is the date of filing, prior to that date, are receiving their immigrant visas. All applications after that date, even if they already had their I-140 approval, are waiting for their turn. So when it comes to direct approval, the premium processing doesn't really collaborate as much because you still need to wait for your turn to receive your immigration visa. Your immigrant visa, I mean. Now it's worth saying that the premium processing can be relevant. Let's think about the scenario that could unfortunately happen. What if your case is denied? You have this information quicker, so at least you can plan your plan B, without having to spend so much time waiting for the process. That being said, let's take a deep dive into 2 common questions that raise from this topic. First one, after the I-140 is approved, can I move forward with Consor Processing or adjustment of status? In order for you to initiate those 2 phases, either Consor or adjustment of status, the filing date of the I-140 must also be encompassed by the visa bulletin. It's not possible to start any of these before then. For the Consor Processing, the date to be considered is the date of filing, which is now February 15th, 2023. Therefore, if your I-140 form was submitted after that date, even if it's already approved, you will not be able to begin your Consor Processing. As for adjustment of status, the date to be considered varies from month to month, and it's defined by the immigration authorities. For the month of April 2024, this date will be the same as the final action date, which is January 15, 2023. You cannot adjust your status if your Form I-140 was filed after January 15, 2023. This is especially relevant for those who want to stay in the US while they wait for their green card. Only the approved I-140 form does not grant you authorization to stay in the country. It does grant you a work permit. It is the adjustment of status that allows this authorization to be in the US. It's also the adjustment of status that allows you to apply for travel and work authorizations. Therefore, unless the person already had some valid status in the US, he or she cannot remain in the US with only the approved I-140, if the filing date of the I-140 is not covered by the visa bulletin. Finally, the second and last question is there a premium processing to expedite the Consor phase and/or the adjustment of status one? Unfortunately not. Well, I hope this video was helpful, and if you do have more questions, please leave them here in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you soon.